Everyone's childhood is different, especially when it's those on the spectrum. We're all troopers trying to make it through the first half of our lives through the media that we watch. That shapes who people are. My media that shaped me exactly? It was more animated and partially concerning than anything else. My first one was obscure to Americans, but a gem to a few. A film named CJ7. A 2008 Hong Kong Chinese film about a family of two in poverty going through obstacles in their own ways. A young boy named Dickie Chow going through the process of being the only poor child in an upper-class school. And T enduring the construction zone and fixing up his kids' clothes. And if you're wondering where the mom is, I'll just read the transcript. My dad works real hard. My mom died. I'm sorry, but is Dickie okay? It was my first exposure to poverty in a film that was totally legal to watch this film dubbed. Dickie Chow wants the toy that's the latest craze at the time, called the CJ1. As the bully says it best, a special project. Fabulous. Dangerous. And one of the smartest toys in the whole wide world. Before shaming another kid because it was short and telling him to get lost in a fat-shaming joke to a big girl named Maggie because of her size. Yeah, the preppy bully was a jerk. And a great actor too. For every CJ1, there's the 7th version. CJ7 was an alien with a fluffy head and a green slime-like body and an antenna that acts like a tail. I will save the adorableness for you since it's free to watch on here at the time of making this. One thing I will note that the movie gets pretty grim at some parts, but giving it a drama and comedy for children, it does have a happy message that being poor is nothing to be ashamed of at the end. There's also a cartoon made about the live-action film and another one in 3D, but I don't think both of them can top the live-action one in terms of drama. But I will be down to watch it in many ways than one to form an opinion. The second one has to be about Shrek. Specifically the second installment series, alright? Give me time to hear me out. The second one had an immaculate banger an hour and a half in, man. The fairy godmother made me feel a little bit of things, but not in a way that the good makes you think. Hold on. The dress did not disappoint. I only watched it for the fairy godmother. Like, repeat after me, just listen. I don't need to be specific on what it's about, as the franchise is one of America's most recognizable ones in animated history. And to end this off, did you know that the Shrek film is in the US Library of Congress's National Film Registry as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant? Now you do. Moving on, there is another movie that I watched that gets dunked on for being interestingly animated, for the way they made fish characters shaped like the actors, specifically the heads. It's Shark Tale. A 2004 movie with a fish with bigger goals to being part of the riches, and a fraudulent way of lying about being the shark slayer. So he befriends the son of a shark mafia leader. Yeah, this one's pretty much talked about in every film reviewer and animated review channels to date, so I'm not going to steal the thunder. My own opinion of the movie? The soundtrack carried the movie for me. Like, by the way, Good Foot by Justin Timberlake and company. It went hard as a kid watching it. And of course, nothing came closer to having an animated crush on a gold-digging Angelina Jolie fish. I really wish that I was kidding when writing this, but in my childhood, I wasn't joking. The final film that I think everybody will recognize, and if not, I recommend watching it for yourself, is Ponyo, a film about a 5-year-old boy developing a relationship with Ponyo, a young goldfish princess who longs to become a human after falling in love with him, according to IMDb. So this particular film was my first exposure to Studio Ghibli, and it led me to watching a plethora of films they had, such as Kiki's Delivery Service and Spirited Away. And in Mexican cultural fashion, the first time I saw it was when my dad had a pirated copy of the film. Piracy? Haven't heard of that in a long time, and I'm sure that it isn't the best policy for Studio Ghibli films. So, along with that, the rest of the movies that I watched were either very distasteful, pirated, or just depressing. And what I mean by that is in an exposure to
domestic violence and unaliving yourself
at such a young age. I don't think my parents were doing well mentally at the time of raising me, so I don't know if that justifies anything. I forgot to add one more film into the mix. That is Thumbelina, a magical story that was a 1992 series about a small girl being shrunk into a book that she has to find her way home through the chapters of the book. As the visuals were pretty calming at first, and the English dub doesn't do the main character justice, as Thumbelina herself sounds nasally, and the fact that the frog character that wanted to marry the girl character, he was manipulated into thinking that arranged marriages were okay until Thumbelina said the words that she wasn't even interested. And I also want to eat that sugar fairy so bad. Oh my god. Trixie, where's Noble? Spit him out. No, spit him out. I know he tastes like sugar, but spit it out.